What's up, homegirls? ¿Qué onda, morras? Buenos días, tardes, o noches, since I don't know when you're listening to this. I hope your day is going good, or at least better than yesterday. Welcome to Te Crees Muy Muy, the podcast para las homegirls who are healing, growing, and figuring life out, sin plan, con flow. I'm your host, aka your Chicana homegirl from Cali, Stephanie, and as always, muchísimas gracias for pressing play and hanging out with me. And your reminder of the day, morra, el tren no se fue, tú vales oro, no migajas. Agárrate las pestañas y vámonos. Now, let's get into it. What's up, homegirls? Welcome to episode 12 of Te Crees Muy Muy podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie. Yo, before I get started, this has been a crazy ass week. I have 257 followers. These last couple of days, I've been getting hella followers. To me, that's a lot. I started this week with 200 and this week I gained basically 57. That's crazy. So don't forget to follow on TikTok, Te Crees Muy Muy podcast. Same thing on Instagram. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for following me and for taking the time to just check this out. Even if it turns out this isn't your cup of tea, still, thank you for stopping by and share it with other homegirls that you guys may think may benefit from listening to this. Also, too, shout out to my very first customer. I sold my very first digital journal. Yes, the journal that I talk about in the episodes. I was freaking out. I was at my sister's house and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about a journal. So my sisters know that I have a podcast, but they don't even know the name of it or anything. And when I told them that I sold the journal, they were like, what the hell? It was hella funny. But anyways, let me go ahead and get started. Have you ever been to therapy, or have you thought about it but never actually gone? I'm asking because therapy is one of those topics that still feels uncomfortable, especially in our community. Some people swear by it, some people avoid it completely, and a lot of people are just curious but don't really know where they stand. So ahí les va some data for you guys, or data. According to the 2022 National Survey on Drug Use and Health by SAMHSA, 21.4% of Latina and Hispanic adults have had a mental health condition within the past year. Only 14.6% received mental health treatment and 4.6% had serious thoughts of suicide. I wanted to share that because mental health is present in our community, whether we talk about it or not. For me personally, I started going to therapy, I think I was around either 15 or 16, since then off and on. And the main reason that I started going was because I was feeling really irritable and depression as well, like depressed, that it would come and go. So it was like loneliness and sadness and that constant feeling of being on edge, like irritated, not super duper angry, nada que ver, just like irritated. But irritability was always the loudest symptom for me. And keep in mind, y'all, that I was in high school when this happened. I think I was either a sophomore or a junior, okay? And also, too, I haven't been going straight for like the past 20 years. No, nada que ver. I go and then I stop for like a couple years and then I go again. Therapy has helped me in a lot of ways, but I'll also be honest with y'all, consistency has been my biggest struggle because I stop and I go back. I stop and I go back. That's been my pattern. One of the biggest barriers to therapy in the Mexican and Latin community is the stigma. Growing up, therapy was seen as you're crazy. Why would you tell your private information to a stranger? You should just pray about it. And yes, God can heal you in a heartbeat if he wants to, but most of the time you still have to participate in your own healing. And honestly, and that right there, what I just said about God and healing and participating in your own healing, that's a whole different subject right there. Our parents in past generations don't really understand mental health, especially the men. Older Hispanic men were taught to take care of their families, work hard, and show no emotion. Men don't cry. It's generational. It's not entirely their fault though. We also have to take responsibility for our choices and actions. A lot of our parents have untreated anxiety. I see it. How many of our parents can't stay still? How many think rest isn't necessary? How many don't know how to communicate? I'm not attacking, I'm just acknowledging. I understand that not all Latinos come from ranchos or small towns. Back in the day, there were big Latino families. Let me use my dad as an example. My dad comes from a big Mexican family. My grandpa would work in a rancho from sunrise to sunset. So basically, he would never really see my dad per se. Do y'all really think my grandma had time to sit down with each kid and check in with them emotionally? No, she had to cook, clean, take care of the house, the kids, and my grandpa. Same thing, different day. So a lot of you guys might be saying, well, yeah, no shit. That's why they didn't feel their mental health symptoms, which is very, very true. A lot of people, even till this day, y'all, I hear older generations, oh, pues que tiene, for example, Maria or something, I don't know. Oh, pues que está enferma de los nervios. Se puso bien mala y no quiere salir de su casa. Y'all, that's depression, that's anxiety, but they say estás enferma de los nervios. You know what I mean? So, some of our parents just say, depressed, ¿por qué? Ponte a limpiar y no andes con tus pendejadas. And that's just how the cookie crumbled. They fear what they don't know. If anything, I feel bad for the men. They complain about not being supported, and women are allowed to show their emotions. The day that they do try, society shames them. And that's the patriarchy. Those are the consequences of not being allowed to speak up. I see it all the time on meme pages. My dad never told me he loved me and I turned out fine. Or you're soft. Your parents came here for a better life and this is how you repay them, by setting boundaries or talking shit to them. Ustedes no aguantan nada, a bunch of pussies. I don't care. I love my jefita and my jefito. They did the best they could. That can be true also, but they could improve and chose not to. So two things can be true at the same time. I used to think that my dad couldn't relate to us because it was all girls in my family, meaning I don't have brothers, I just have sisters. So I accepted that. But when I started to unpack certain things in therapy, my therapist told me, no, your dad just chooses not to be closer or involved in certain things. And damn, dude, that was a hard thing to accept. That's a hard pill to swallow because what the fuck, that's my dad, right? It doesn't mean that my dad's a bad man or a bad person. But the day that I accepted that, it changed a lot. A lot of things, changed for me. Maybe our parents don't understand what we go through. We can try to change that or we can leave it alone. That's a hard pill to swallow though. And yeah, it sounds corny, but you really do learn that you can't change people. The amount of time and energy you spend wanting them to be what you need them to be won't change the outcome. Another real issue is affordability and sustainability. Therapy can cost anywhere between $150 to $350 per session. Insurance doesn't always accept certain therapists or limits how many times you can see them in a year. That alone stops a lot of people before they can even start. But I did want to put a quick side note on that. Whatever state you're in, look up, if you're interested in going to therapy, look up sliding scale fee. So basically, it's como bajos ingresos. They're going to charge you by what you make. And here's the thing too, that sometimes like nonprofits have different levels of therapists, meaning therapists that they need to get hours and they're being supervised by other therapists. So cobran menos. I've seen places be as low as $25 to $50 and go all the way up to like 60 or 70. And at the beginning, a lot of therapists want you to go once a week to kind of get a rhythm going, and then eventually they'll taper you off to like 2, and then for maintenance once a month. But at the beginning, upfront, it can be expensive. But if you really want to, but you just can't afford it, be straight up with them and be like, hey, so I can only come twice a month to start or only once a month. What do you recommend we can do? Y si una vez nada más puedes ir al mes, then go ahead and ask for homework, ask for things that you can learn to put in your emotional toolbox. Let me go back to this. Anyways, so why do I keep going back to therapy? For me, it's the non-judgmental space, a second pair of ears to listen to what I'm going through or just vent, sort out my concerns. Accountability, homework that gave me new coping skills and tools for my emotional toolbox. Healing at my own pace, perspective on what was working in my life and what wasn't. Hey homegirls, before you keep listening, did you know I made y'all a journal? It's a short, cute, 15 pages para que no andes toda confundida. Sí, un journal. It's called El Journal de Mis Life Shoulds. It's not a miracle fix. Let's keep it real. It's not a whole heal in 10 days type of thing, because let's be real, you've been carrying all this shit since you were younger. It's a small, simple tool to help you check in with yourself instead of bottling everything up. I made 2 versions, PDF if you want to print it and actually write it, like right inside, or a Google Doc if you want to do it from your phone. Think of like heal on the go, right? And girl, si tienes tiempo de andar allí stalking your ex-boyfriend for 20 minutes on any social media platform, you got time para esto. Y esto te Honestly, it's better for you. The link is in my bio. Now, let me go ahead and get back to this episode. I do want to be clear about something though. Therapists won't tell you what to do, and working on your trauma or personal issues is going to be one of the hardest, longest, most frustrating and eye-opening and rewarding experiences oh my gosh, I can't talk. Experiences you'll ever go through. You can't change as a person. You will go through a mourning process. You'll mourn the old versions of yourself. You'll have to let go of people, places, and things. No one really prepares you for that. Therapy also taught me that you can't be healing 24/7. Why? Because that shit's exhausting. You'll stop living your life and you'll just be analyzing everything and everyone, and that shit can be annoying. That's not healthy, and it's not your job to change people. Take responsibility for where you are in your life, for the things you did and didn't do, what you said and didn't say. Figure out what's in your control and what's not. I can't go against systems on my own. Some things, once I let them go, I gain better perspective. When you're in your feelings, things feel huge. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's not that big of a deal. It's not that deep. I've also learned what I want my friendships to look like. I've learned that people's behavior is the language. Silence is loud. And the biggest thing that I've learned so far, I think damn near 40 years old, is the power of choice and perspective. This episode isn't meant to convince you or anybody else to go to therapy. It's just my experience, my perspective, and what I've learned along the way. Take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. I didn't make this episode to have all the answers. I just want to bring some perspective and awareness to get you thinking differently about your mental health journey. And I also want to say that I have the privilege and luxury to be able to afford it. I've gone to different ones because sometimes it takes a while to find somebody that you click with, because también sometimes it is about your culture. Sometimes I would get paired up with like older white ladies and they wouldn't understand, or no me entendían, well, the same thing. They didn't understand me like culturally, right? And I didn't want to spend the first month, right? Because you're going once a week. So I didn't want to spend 4 weeks trying to explain about Mexican culture, like first gen problem. No. And I've also gone to places that were hella expensive. So just because they're more expensive doesn't mean that they're better. And just because they're cheap doesn't mean that they're worse. Nada que ver. You will find your rhythm eventually. Y también something else that, like, not how it sounds, but low-key, yeah, yo me pongo las pilas, y'all. I try to be resourceful, and I try to find sliding scale fees. Y si de veras I really do want to go, but I just can't afford it every week, I talk to the person and say, hey, I can only come once a week. Or when if I find somebody online, if I don't see it, I don't give a damn. I always ask them, hey, do you have a sliding scale fee? Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, my fee, for example, is $150, but for a sliding scale, lo bajo a 100 or 98. Or they're like, I don't have sliding scale, but I have colleagues who do. Y te mandan con otra persona. At the end of the day, they just want to help you out. You know what I mean? There's, if you guys don't know, there's a magazine called Psychology Today. If you go on their website, puedes buscar psychologist también. And for the people who live in California, who have Medi-Cal, or I think it's called like partnership now or something, not sure, check to see if your benefits have mental health. También you could go that route as well, because I know it's a privilege to be able to go in to afford it. And there's seasons that I go to therapy and I'm like, this girl is just not it. Like, no me gusta, or I just feel that we're not clicking, or siento que I'm not getting anything, or we're just talking about the same shit every time and it's not necessarily me, or siento como que I'm not advancing in the ways that I want to advance. Speak the fuck up and be like, hey, so I feel like this is what's going on. And sometimes you both realize, she or he served you for the moment that, like, for that moment in your life, I guess you could say, and then move on. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, people come and go. Everything's confidential. Obviously, they are mandated reporters. So, like, por ejemplo, si hay abuso, violence, or they think you're going to harm yourself, well, obviously, they have to alert somebody. But other than that, it's confidentiality. Confidential, meaning que no le van a decir a nadie, not unless you allow them to share your information with, like, other family members, etc. So let me know in the comments. Go to TikTok and go to Instagram. On Instagram, I have 2 followers. Yay! But in TikTok, ya cuando salga el episode, comment if you want a part 2 because I could give y'all more information. I just didn't want to overload you guys. I know it was going kind of fast because I didn't want to stretch this episode out. Pero me fijo que hay mucha stigma. And I get it too because sometimes in Latino culture, it's kind of like, yo mando, you listen to your parents. If your parents don't believe in therapy because they don't understand it or they themselves never went, they're going to be against it. And I'm not saying to go against your parents or anything like that, but we're grown people. Like, it's okay to think, for yourselves and stuff. There's some things that I've been told in therapy that I don't agree with too. And I'm like, and not that I fight back, obviously, but I say, I don't agree with this because this and this and that. And we talk it out and it gives you another perspective, even if you don't agree with it. También te ayuda a reconocer your patterns and your coping mechanisms. And for those of you who are believers, there's Christian therapists, there's Catholic therapists. So puedes encontrar de todo. There's bilingual. There's people who focus on trauma, PTSD, eating disorders. So también couples, sexuality de diferentes cosas. Or if you just want just to kind of explore it. Most mental health professionals te ofrecen a free 10-minute consultation, meaning okay, this is what's going on. This is my main issue. This is what I need help with. And sometimes they'll be like, maybe I don't think you need therapy. Maybe a couple sessions here or there. I think if anything, maybe you need a life coach. O te pueden decir, or maybe they're like, yeah, thank you for reaching out. This is what I can and can't do. I will say this. If you feel like it's not working out, don't ghost your therapist because I've done that in the past, y'all. Eso sí no está bien. And I acknowledge it. And even if I don't go back to them, I call them a month later and say, hi, this is so-and-so. I'm so sorry that I ghosted you. I wanted to let you know that it has nothing to do with you. It's about me, obviously. And I want to apologize. You did help me in this period of time, but I think I'm looking for someone else and go from there. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, comment, engage. I'll see you guys next time in the next episode. Bye. Okay, what y'all think of that episode? Les gustó? Not so much? Did it make y'all ponder or just be like, esta morra no sabe nada? I just want y'all to feel seen and understood, not stressed out. Anyways, I'll catch y'all on the next episode. And remember, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. By Henry Ford. Thanks for stopping by. Share, comment, and engage. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Instagram at Te Crees Muy Muy Podcast. Go engage and invite other homegirls. Let's build that community. If you want, feel free to DM me for topics. And with that, I'll catch you next time. Bye.